TLC 2017 is done and over with. It's a new day, yes it is, a Monday kind of day. And as per usual, the show felt like it went on forever last night, and although it was a bit of a clusterfuck, it was a clusterfuck that I enjoyed enough to call it watchable. But without further ado, here's a 20 by 20 rundown of the show in case you didn't have the time to sit through 3 hours of this shit. If you did not watch the pre-show like I didn't, because I never watched the pre-shows because quite frankly I just can't be bothered to give a shit about them, Emma vs. Asuka was the start to the show for you, and it was a good start to the show because it was everything that it needed to be. Asuka went into the match feeling like a big deal because the WWE presented her as such up until this event. What a novel idea! That's something they don't always manage to do for their talent. Emma might have gotten too much offense in the match, however. And because, as we all know, the whole social media shtick she's been doing lately hasn't exactly made her a top star, and it's all like it makes her out to look like a threat to any of the women in the locker room. So there's that. But all in all, the women put on a good show. Asuka is a big deal. They set a positive tone for the rest of the night. And you're still hoping that Asuka continues to be a big deal and an undefeated big deal for a while to come. Backstage, we see the Bar and Miz get along just fine, but there's some tension between the Big Red Machine and the Monster Among Men because both men obviously think they each have the biggest, most monstrous dong, foreshadowing the possibility that they will not get along in the match and that it could cost the Miz and the others the victory. And as we all saw later in the evening, that's pretty much what happened. So there's a bit of foreshadowing for you. It was what it was. Not a bad segment. Bada boom. Jason Jordan throws celery and other vegetables at Elias as he's about to start one of his usual songs and then is shown walking off with a cart full of supermarket goods. I have no comment other than what the fuck was that? And then next, oh yay, we had a tag team match featuring wrestlers from the Cruiserweight division. I wish I had a fuck to give. Apparently, Jack Gallagher is a heel now, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who gives a shit. I sure don't. They might as well end the division tomorrow night and use the TV time for something else. Something that actually matters. Something that they're actually gonna invest time and effort in. Apparently, Cedric and Rich won, but I skipped the match, so I didn't even see how. Yeah, Rich, I facepalmed at just the thought of 205 too. Then we have the Women's Championship match for the Raw Women's Championship, in which Alexa Bliss defeated Mickie James in a damn good match that may have been a lot better than some might have expected. I, for one, expected a great match, but I didn't think it'd be as good or be given as much time as it was. I'm even gonna go out on a limb here and even say that it was better than Asuka vs. Emma, and up until this point in the show, it's match of the night. I love Mickie James. She's one of my favorite female performers ever, and it broke my damn heart to see her lose. But as big as a fan I am of her, I'm an even bigger fan of Bliss. She retains the title. That's something to smile about. I wouldn't mind seeing both of these women go at it again for the title. In the locker room, Rollins and Ambrose approach Kurt Angle, and Angle was made to say that he doesn't know how much he has left in him, when we all know that's bullshit, because he was wrestling earlier this year. We all know he's still got it. But that aside, it was awesome to see Ambrose and Rollins pay their respects to Kurt by giving him a vest just like theirs. That was awesome. You think it was awesome. You know you do. It was simply awesome. Elias then returns once more to finish his song, but he's pelted with vegetables again by Jordan, and he just runs off instead of walking over to him and bashing his guitar on his head like he did Finn Balor not too long ago. Bad, Elias. Bad. It's weak. Even with throat issues, Enzo cuts a better promo than Callisto ever could. Ha 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 ha. The match itself, though, was The crowd naturally wasn't into it. Can't say I blame them, because I wasn't really into it either. Something I felt the need to single out, though, is that earlier in the night, Alexa Bliss retained her title with a basic DDT, and although it's not the first time that she's won a match with a DDT, we all know that it's a move that's been next to meaningless in the WWE for years now. Mickie James was pinned after a regular DDT, and then Callisto kicks out of one in which Enzo did it on him by jumping from the top of the turnbuckle, and he drove his head straight into the floor. Really? That doesn't make any sense. Enzo regained the title. He's now a two-time Cruiserweight champion, though Neville was the first, may I remind you. And now it's as if Callisto was never champion to begin with, and we're left with no credible challengers to a title that has quickly lost its value since Neville dropped it. It's a shame, and I feel like I have little reason to believe that anything of meaning will be done to restore that same value to the belt moving forward. If I'm somehow proven wrong in the near future, I'll eat my words. Say it with me now. I'm sorry, Bray Wyatt, you cross-dressing, corny as all hell, specter slash cult leader slash god piece of shit, or whatever it is that you are by now, but I am so glad that you didn't have your match tonight. I'm not saying that I'm glad that the supernatural female demon thing, whatever, got sick, because I don't wish sickness on any wrestler, but if he had been healthy, we wouldn't have gotten the match that we did. Booker T, surprisingly, said it best. This match needs no build-up. And it didn't, because that's how good these men are, that's how good the match was, and that's how good both of these men should always look. Not awful and corny like Balor has been presented ever since his return, not like less than the main eventer that he really is, not anything less. In spite of how sick I am of how badly his feud with Bray has been, I completely forgot about all of that during the match, and I was as won over as the crowd inside that building. I don't have a hat on as I record this, but if I did, it would be out for the both of you gentlemen. An instant classic. Well, they can't all be adrenaline-pumping matches, can they? And this one certainly wasn't. Elias finally got the chance to get back at Jordan for throwing veggies at him earlier. The match was okay. I didn't pay all that much attention to it because I was busy tweeting about how bad Booker T is on commentary, but I did see how the referee hit the 3 count even after Elias had kicked out. So there's a botch finish for ya. Graves and Cole were all for a victory for Jordan, while Booker T lost his shit and saw what I saw, that the man kicked out, and sure enough in the replay he had his shoulder up. Injustice! And injustice, I say! And finally we have the main event, the tables, ladders, and chairs match. And you know what? Although it seems that it received mixed criticism online, after the first few minutes or so had gone by, I quite enjoyed it. I'm not saying it was a 5-star match, because it wasn't, but I was entertained and all the men had their bits of time to shine. The Shield got the upper hand in the beginning of the match by beating the shit out of everyone, especially Strowman and Kane, with steel chairs, and they even got them onto the announce tables, and Rollins and Ambrose proceeded to frog splash and elbow them both through the tables. Kurt Angle had a spot in which he did his beloved series of German suplexes in the ring, and he was all pumped up even after Kane got up from the floor outside and went after him. Angle even got him in the ankle lock, but Strowman ended up recovering and getting the best of him by putting him through a table next to the ring. WWE staff helped him out of the arena after this, which is something I wasn't really a fan of, because if Kurt was gonna miss a big part of the match, he could have just lied there selling for a while instead of being helped out. That made him look weaker than he really is, because as I mentioned earlier, he hasn't gone that long without wrestling, and he can certainly take more than going through a table. Speaking of which, Botchamania got a botched table spot, ha 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 ha! And as of this recording, Matthew's already acknowledged it on Facebook and Twitter. So good on you, man. You've got a quick trigger finger. And it was hilarious to hear the reaction of the crowd when this happened. Rollins and Ambrose also got to jump off a trash truck, which was also later used by Mrs. Team to put Strowman in so he could be driven away inside of. This is the second time that wrestlers have tried to kill Strowman. First it was Reigns, and now it was Mrs. Team. Unbelievable! I thought this was a PG show! But yeah, Strowman was stuffed inside there, and after Kane turned on him by chokeslamming him through the stage and then burying him under a pile of chairs that he pulled from the decoration of the Titatron. You've seen them before. Every year they have a bunch of chairs hanging from the top. He pulled some of those chairs down, and he buried him under all of those. And that was pretty damn cool. Later on in the match, Ambrose and Rollins end up driving Kane through the barricade at ringside, Reigns style. Kurt ends up returning and angle slamming the fuck out of Sheamus and Cesaro. Then after that, he gets hit with a skull-crushing finale from behind by Miz, barely kicking out. But kick out he does. And then the Shield surrounds him. He gets hit with all 3 of the Shield's finishers, and then gets Olympic Shield bombed for the victory. Oh, and I like the Shield bomb name for the move. And Olympic Shield bomb. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, the Shield wins. and theoretically, we all go home happy because the heroes won. And that was TLC 2017. I thought it was alright. And now for 20 by 20's top 3 matches of the night, which were from 3rd to 1st place. Mickey vs. Alexa for the women's title, with The Shield versus Team Miz in 2nd, and Finn Balor versus AJ in 1st place. Do you agree with this top 3 list? Tell me why or why not by leaving a comment or by yelling at me at Wrestling20 by 20 on Twitter, Facebook, and now Instagram. This was 20 by 20, and until then, hit that subscribe button with an Olympic shield bomb, and I hope to see you for the rest of this week's videos, only on VidMe and YouTube.